You've fed them. You've changed them. You've rocked them, bounced them, shushed them, driven them around the block twice. And they are still crying. You are standing in the middle of your living room, at whatever hour this is, running completely out of ideas, wondering if something is wrong with your baby. Or wondering if something is wrong with you. First thing I need to say, before anything else, nothing is wrong with you. And almost certainly, nothing is wrong with your baby either. What you are in the middle of right now is one of the most universally exhausting experiences in human parenting. And there is actually a real, researched, biological explanation for why it's happening. That explanation doesn't make it easier in the moment, but it might make you feel a little less alone in it. Let's start with the most important thing you need to know. Babies do not cry to manipulate you. They do not cry because they know it's 3 a.m. and they've decided tonight is the night. They cry because crying is the only tool they have. It's their entire communication system. And sometimes that system is carrying a message that even they don't fully understand yet. Here's what I mean. A newborn's nervous system is, there's no other way to say this, a work in progress. They can't self-regulate. They can't process the world around them without help. And sometimes the sheer amount of stimulation that has accumulated across a day, sounds, light, faces, movement, temperature changes, new sensations, it overwhelms their immature system. And when that system tips over the edge, they cry. Not because something specific is wrong, but because everything is a lot. Researchers and pediatricians call this the fourth trimester. The idea, popularized by Dr. Harvey Karp, is that human babies are essentially born 3 months before they're ready. They spent 9 months in a warm, dark, constantly moving, consistently loud environment. And then suddenly they're here. In a world that is quiet, then loud, then dark, then still, then moving. And their nervous system has no framework for any of it yet. The crying that seems to come from nowhere is often the sound of a brain that is trying to catch up to a world it wasn't quite ready for. There's also something called the period of PULE crying. It's not a parenting trend. It's a program developed by researchers at the National Center on Shake and Bake-'em to help parents understand a specific pattern of infant crying. RPLE stands for peak, unexpected, resists soothing, pain-like face, long-lasting, and evening. Peak means it gets worse before it gets better. Crying typically increases from about 2 weeks of age and peaks around 2 months. Unexpected means it can start and stop for no obvious reason. Resists soothing means sometimes nothing works, and that's normal. Pain-like face means they can look like they're in agony, even when they're not. Long-lasting means it can go on for hours. And evening means late afternoon and nighttime is when it tends to be worst. If that description sounds familiar, that's because it describes almost every baby. Not just yours. The reason this matters is that understanding PAR-PL, crying changes the way parents respond to it. Not in a way that makes the crying stop faster, but in a way that stops the spiral of panic and self-doubt. When you know this is normal, when you know this is a developmental phase with a beginning and an end, your own nervous system settles slightly. Your baby feels that. Now, practically speaking, there are a few things worth checking every time. Not because you've forgotten them, but because they're worth going through in order when you're exhausted and your brain is running on fumes. Hunger first. Even if they ate recently. Babies have small stomachs and fast metabolisms. An hour can feel like a long time to a newborn gut. Next, discomfort. Gas is one of the most underestimated culprits. Gentle bicycle legs. A warm hand on their belly. Holding them facing down across your forearm, what's sometimes called the football hold, can help move trapped air. Overtiredness. This one is counterintuitive. A baby who is past the point of tiredness will fight sleep harder than a baby who's only slightly tired. An overtired baby's cortisol spikes, which makes settling even harder. If they've been awake longer than their age-appropriate wake window, that might be the whole story. Overstimulation. Sometimes the fix is less, not more. Dimming the lights. Reducing noise. Holding them against your chest in a dark room with nothing happening. Giving their nervous system less to process, not more. And then there's the cry that doesn't fit any category. One where you've been through the whole checklist, and they're still going. That's the cry that breaks parents. And here's what the research says about that one. Sometimes, the only thing that helps is time and contact. Dr. John Gottman's work on emotional regulation shows that the presence of a calm caregiver, even when the baby isn't calming down, is doing something. Your heartbeat is data to their nervous system. Your breathing is information. Your warmth is regulatory input. Even when it doesn't look like it's working, it is working. Just more slowly than you need it to right now. One more thing. If you are in a moment where you have done everything, and the crying isn't stopping, and you feel yourself reaching a wall, put the baby down in a safe place. Step outside. Take 3 breaths. Come back. Not because you're giving up. Because a regulated caregiver is more useful to a dysregulated baby than a depleted one. That is not failure. That is good parenting. The phase you're in right now is temporary. I know that's the thing everyone says, and I know it doesn't help much at 4 a.m. But the research is consistent on this. The peak of inconsolable crying in healthy infants is around 6 to 8 weeks. And then it starts, slowly, unevenly, but genuinely, to ease. You are in the hardest part, and you're still here, still trying, still looking for answers. That matters more than you know. If this channel is helping you make sense of what your baby is going through, follow us. We put out new videos every week, all built around the same idea. Your baby's behavior always has a reason. You just need someone to explain it. We'll see you in the next one.